Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to my corner of the world. We are here for a tribute reaction. This one's titled Cycle of Violence, the originals. It was uploaded by Niklaus. This is a video that was requested to me some time ago, but I had to put it off because the weather was making it literally impossible for me to record reactions. So I had to delay it, but here we are circling around to it. I'm not going to waste any time. Almost 8 minutes long. Let's hop in. Link to the original video will be in the description if you want to check it out uninterrupted. Here we go. Lord knows the Michelson family got the cycle of violence in it.
Love their children. Fathers make them strong.
I'll keep them
The boy needs to be made strong. You taught me that I can't afford to be weak, not when my enemies are stronger. Mercy is for the weak. Mercy is for the weak. You taught me that too.
You think my brother Nick is awful?
I just saw what you did back there with all the bodies and the bloodshed, man, left for anybody to find.
Marcel learned from the best.
Reminded me of somebody else's handiwork.
Tell me you didn't do this.
Are you really gonna lecture me about dead witches?
You gotta respond with a show of force. Never waste an opportunity for a show of force.
You're the one who told me I had to use the sign of force.
Another lesson that I learned from you.
I learned that from you.
Guess who I learned it from?
Everything Marcel knows about being a vampire, he learned from Klaus.
Whoever picks up
Whoever picks up this coin
this coin
gets to live forever.
gets to live.
The other one dies.
So you've studied my old tricks.
You raised me.
I, of all people, know whether the parent raising you loves you or loathes you.
We inherit the sins of those who come before us,
They still form who you are.
You taught me everything that I know.
and those sins are passed to the ones who come next,
After all this time, am I not Michael's son?
like your little niece.
Now, we're only 1 minute and 27 seconds in, so it could very well change, but I do notice that it is only honing in on a specific amount of people. Michael, Klaus, Marcel, and Hope. Now, with Klaus's siblings, yes, they are all violent in some fashion, every single one of them. But, well, obviously not Henrik, but you know what I mean. They're all violent, but I do find it interesting how this is honing specifically on those four that I mentioned because, you know, Klaus just like passing down all of what he inherited from Michael to his two children, and that Marcel became he became quite the monster himself, not quite as monstrous as Klaus. Like he still had that compassion and like love for and like he valued human life unlike Klaus did. And Hope in a similar fashion is like that as well. She has compassion. She does value people's lives and things like that. But it's just that I guess you could call it apt for violence is still a part of them. Like they inherited that from their father, and Marcel doubly so because he had Klaus as his adoptive father, and then his like actual like biological father, he inherited violence from him too because he was getting beat by the man. So, oof, this video is really cutting deep.
To learn by example and become a monster herself.
Have you decided how you're going to kill him?
So this is a new parenting style, allowing your daughter to mercilessly torture that boy.
And that would make her someone who vanquishes her enemies.
This hatred, this vengeance.
You're not gonna get the better of Klaus by becoming him.
Oh yeah, then Marcel to Davina. I forgot about her.
Father.
This is your father.
Despite being raised by you people,
You are so like me.
I am nothing like any of you.
I'm not him.
I'm nothing like you.
And I was hoping you would be different, man, but I'm starting now to think that you are just as dangerous as Klaus Michelson.
I am vicious and hateful.
I'm not a monster, Klaus.
She has a hint of the devil in her eyes, just like you. That's all me.
I'm not you.
Ever since you were little, people were terrified of what you could become.
That kid never had a chance.
I know you've been trying to stop this from happening since I was a little girl.
Because they were afraid that you might turn out like your dad.
Klaus will destroy it one way or another.
Violence is what you need to feel better.
Find your daughter and show her how we dole out discipline in this family.
When you have the perfect father, following in the footsteps of her father.
When you've had enough, pick up this coin.
You are leading your daughter down a path that will erase her humanity.
1,000 years of emptiness, an endless parade of slaughter.
She deserves something better than what we had. There's all I have ever wanted for her, something better.
The bloodshed in your family does not have to be an endless cycle.
I am my father's daughter.
She must not suffer the same.
After centuries on this earth, do you really not see that all of your violence
She was supposed to be better than us, Nicholas.
I'm cool with that.
is pointless?
I did not make myself this way. I wasn't born like this. It was Michael who ruined me. Yet there was a time when you knew me, I knew you. As your son, to be my son. The one you
here it
once
goes
called
back to
your
back.
son. There were moments when all you had to do was be my father.
He gets angry at me.
Even then, you despised me, didn't you? It frightens me. I spent decades trying to make up for what your father did. Perhaps I was always bound to leave you broken. How did I fail?
You really think I'm broken?
Maybe the scars just ran too deep.
You said our father ruined us.
It was half your age the first time my father gave me the staff.
And I can't help but wonder.
I would have torn every muscle rather than let him see me strain.
What if his father ruined him? In my experience, what better life might have awaited you were another man your father? Fathers cause pain. I think I would have liked to have been your son, but a different path was chosen for me.
I think you're afraid to see her.
And I have, for the past 1,000 years, been son of Michael.
I saw this scary monster who looked like my dad.
What if she sees you as a monster and hates you for it?
The horror in your eyes that night when you saw me is burned in my memory.
Dad? Maybe that little girl you miss so much
You've done a fine job with her, and I trust you'll continue to do as such.
would be better off if she never loved you at all.
I'm here. Birthdays, holidays. Where the hell were you?
Can't bother to be a dad.
Why are you avoiding her?
And Hope is better off without me.
There were really wonderful parts of my father.
Becoming like me.
No, I can't lie. There really is no excuse for how Klaus did Hope after he left New Orleans. The way he just straight up ghosted her for how many years was it? 7? I think. Yeah, because she was 7 when he left, and she was like 14 or 15. Yeah, so like 7, 8 years. Yeah, there's no excuse for that. Like, bro, you live in the 21st century. You have a phone. She has a phone. You could have called. You could have texted. Like, something, bro. And you even have a witch for a sister who could set up, like, a whole astral projection thing for you to see her. But you just chose to straight up ghost. That was, oof. That's emotionally violent right there, if you ask me. Not physical, but emotional. Because, like, just imagine that one person in your life that you love and look up to just straight up abandoning you. Like, that's going to leave some emotional scars for sure. Oof. Klaus, not a good move there, buddy. Not a good move.
If I become more like him,
It would rob you of
And
all
I
that
know what
makes you
that's
good.
like. I've been
what
there.
if I have all the other?
I've been in Hope's position with that. That hurts.
I know what it's like to be raised by a monster.
I had Klaus as a father. It didn't turn out so well, did it? Your daughter's better off without him.
My father lived to torment me. I do not wish to be the father I had, nor do I wish to be the father Marcel has come to loathe.
It is not my intention to become him.
You don't want her to fall into that cycle of violence.
She's better off without me.
History could repeat itself. And if you're not careful, it will.
Stop using Michael as an excuse to be a bad father.
But you owe it to your daughter to try and change the narrative.
I'm gonna tell you a story. Perhaps it's time for a new story. Before you were born, I was a very different creature.
Michael taught you to kill, Klaus.
But hope.
But you were born to create.
From the moment I saw you, I wanted nothing more than to be worthy of being your father.
I know what you are.
In her story, we are the knights in shining armor.
Strongest in the world. Strong enough to keep all of the bad things away.
I will not do to my child what was done to me.
I know it's not in your nature to keep violence out of this house.
We'll protect her innocence for as long as we can.
We may be damaged.
No one protected ours.
My daughter has an advantage Klaus never had. But we are not doomed to repeat our parents' mistakes. She'll never, ever know you.
The cycle of abuse that Michael began, you can end it.
You can break the pattern.
This cycle of misery ends with my child.
So you can be the light for your little girl.
I was never a good father to you. I will do right by you. I failed you.
I failed you.
To my eternal shame.
You didn't fail me.
You didn't let me down.
When I brought you here to scatter your father's remains, you did something I never could.
It's hard to hate the person who made you what you are. You just end up hating yourself.
You released your hate to the wind.
You can't hate someone who you loved for so long.
I should have known you'd grow up to be a better man than I.
I'm gonna do better.
You're willing to let go of someone you love to save innocent people that you'll never even meet.
That power, still merciful.
I think.
Clearly didn't get that from my side of the family.
And you're already better than all of us.
I am so proud of you.
The very best of me is in you.
She is the very best of me.
Yes, she is.
So, that video was quite something. Really, so like I said before, really honed in specifically on those four characters I talked about: Michael, Klaus, Marcel, and Hope. I mean, I guess you could include Davina in there, but she was mainly just for like that one section when it comes to violence because of what she did to the witches, but like mainly those four. And man, that cuts deep. The cycle of violence within this family cuts deep. And I'm actually really glad that they included Marcel in that, because a lot of people that I've seen online do not necessarily consider Marcel to be a Mikaelson. But you ask me, he is definitely a Mikaelson. He was raised as one, raised by one, you know, and now, present day, he literally married into the family. He's a Mikaelson in literally every way but blood, just like Klaus. So, he is definitely a Mikaelson. So I'm glad that they included him in there. Again, another great tribute. Niklaus, you did a fantastic job with this. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that, and I will catch you in my next video. See ya.